So the next question comes from Christine. Determining what census data to use with remote employees all over the US is a challenge. Some employees have to be in a certain geographic area, but we hire many just where they live and let them work from home. Can we use US Census data, or do we have to use the smaller geographic regions?
So with obviously COVID and all of that, and a lot of professional services organizations are going to either partial remote or permanent remote for a lot of their professional service level positions. This is something we've seen and something that OFCCP has actually addressed. When you think about where you would typically recruit from, would you recruit all over the US? If the answer is yes, then you would and you are able to use that US data. I have some clients who said, well, no, we would recruit, but they need to be within these 4 states because we only want to deal with payroll taxes in these 4 states. Then you would not want to use US. You'd want to use Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and Missouri, for example. If that was like a Midwest-based organization and they preferred people within those states. So when you're posting for a job, you want to be very clear on, is this limited to just certain states? Or is this really a position? I was just talking to a client this morning. They said they're in the East Coast, actually in the DC metro area, and they said we would hire somebody from California. We would hire somebody from Alaska. We don't care. So they would definitely use US for everybody. So it really depends on sort of what you use, but you are definitely, and as you grow, you could really think about it by job group. So are there groups where you have to be physically located there? Potentially for security reasons, everyone in the administrative support who does call center work has to be there because they can't outsource that, or we can't remotely source that. Obviously, production facilities would be a little difficult to work on a machine from your house. But you could have different recruitment areas for, say, professionals or certain types of professionals. Maybe for the business operations, they do need to be on site, but for some of the other consulting or services or employees that do client work but they don't need to be physically on site. So you can also combine a metro area and the US if you have a group that kind of contains both of those. So there's lots of options, but when you think about US, you really want to think about, would I hire from any state? And if the answer is yes, then you can definitely use the US. If the answer is maybe, then let's think about what does that mean for your organization. And you could also use a combination of states. If it was just like East Coast, which states would that be? Would it be Maine? Would it be Florida? Or is it really just a few in the middle?
You really have to look at your own needs and what realistically you would want for that job and use those areas.
And what your payroll / accounting team allows too, because payroll taxes are different in different states, and there are other requirements and other laws that may come into play well outside of affirmative action in OFCCP as a federal. So there's some states, we have had a few clients who said, well, every state but California and Colorado. But you want to think about what you're realistically going to use and what your organization will support.
Absolutely.